Slipknot has, of course, had a number of shifts in their lineup these past few years, with classic members Chris Fain out of the band in 2019, Craig Jones out around the summer of 2023, I think it was, and then most recently, of course, Jay Weinberg, who was in the band for nearly a decade. He was out at the end of 2023, I believe it was in November, just after the band played Hell in Heaven Fest in Mexico. Jay was, of course, replaced by Eloy Casagrande, who left Sepultura to join Slipknot. Eloy was then replaced in Sepultura by Greyson Nekrutman from Suicidal Tendencies, and then when Greyson left Suicidal, he was replaced in that band by Jay Weinberg, and I don't know why that little drum triangle just always cracks me up. It's just, it's too funny. But anyways, these Slipknot lineup changes are always, rather controversial, especially with drummers. But I think overall, Eloy has been very, very well received since joining the band, has received a ton of praise. Just last month, he was voted the #1 metal drummer in Modern Drummers 2024 Readers Poll, and then subsequently, he was on the cover of the magazine for January of 2025. So, of course, being on the cover, he did an interview for the cover story where he discussed a couple of interesting things that I thought were interesting enough to talk about, beginning with him being asked for his opinion on Greyson Nekrutman, where he said, "Yes, and when I see him playing, I can remember myself in the same spot. When I joined Sepultura, I was his age. That's quite interesting. He's a very good drummer. I used to watch him playing videos he posted on social media when he was playing more jazz and drum solos. He's a brilliant player, and I wish him and the rest of the band all the best. I have a lot of respect for him. I wish I could talk to him more one day. Maybe we could bring all the Sepultura drummers together." Greyson came to my studio in Sao Paulo when he joined the band to do some rehearsals, and we had a very good talk. He had just 2 or 3 weeks to learn all the songs, so I gave him some advice like, "We used to play that song faster. Be careful with this song because we used to play it slower." I wasn't teaching him how to play the songs because he can play anything he wants to play. He's an incredible drummer. It is great to hear that Eloy worked with Greyson upon him leaving Sepultura and kind of helped him out and get accustomed to how Sepultura likes to do things. I think, him leaving the band just as they were gearing up for their lengthy farewell tour, I mean, certainly it caught the band off guard a little bit and probably not the best timing to leave the band, but I mean, what are you going to do? Eloy is still a young guy. Sepultura is hanging it up, and then Slipknot comes knocking. I'm sure he didn't want to leave Sepultura in a bad spot, but, I don't know. Who do you choose, Sepultura or Slipknot? I mean, what a tough decision that is to make. But, on the subject of Slipknot, in that interview with Modern Drummer, he then reflected about getting the gig in Slipknot, which he has already talked about before, but he does speak, too, on playing shows with Slipknot while he was still in Sepultura, not in, both bands, but, doing a festival with Sepultura where Slipknot was also playing, things like that. And he notes that Slipknot is where he always wanted to be, where he said, "Everything happened at the end of 2023 when I got a call from Slipknot's manager asking me if I was interested in doing an audition for Slipknot. That year, Sepultura decided to stop playing, so it was a very natural decision for me to keep playing with someone else instead of just retiring. At the end of 2023 and the beginning of 2024, I wasn't supposed to talk to anyone about that. The audition was a big secret. Nobody could know about it. Sepultura didn't even know. It was just something between me and the guys from Slipknot. It was my decision to do the audition. I said, okay, I'm interested in doing an audition because Sepultura is going to stop. I have 1.5 years left of working with them and I'm going to be done. Through the years, I have played many times with Slipknot. We shared stages when I was playing Sepultura, and that was the place that I always wanted to be. I grew up listening to their music, so I wanted to have the experience playing live with Slipknot with a mask on my face. In my first show with the band, I was thinking, oh, this is really happening. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Going back a little bit, before I was invited to do the audition, I took my drums to a studio in Sao Paulo and did a proper sound and video recording. I played 6 songs and I sent it to the guys. I chose 3 songs and then they asked me to play 3 specific songs. They were Eyeless, Purity, and Gematria. My flight was booked to go to the audition, so at the end of January of 2024, I flew to Palm Springs, California and spent 10 days with them there. The first 5 days, the whole band was rehearsing like it was a live show. Every day, the guys came with a different set list and we just played those songs. I am curious though, if Sepultura was not going on their farewell tour, if the band was going to continue on and be this active band, I wonder if he would have still auditioned for Slipknot. He kind of says, in that quote that since Sepultura was hanging it up, that's why he auditioned for Slipknot. But I don't know. I mean, it's just speculation, but I'd have to imagine that regardless, he would have ended up joining Slipknot anyways. I mean, like I said earlier, who do you really choose, Slipknot or Sepultura? I mean, nothing against Sepultura, they're a great band, but going from clubs and theaters to arenas and headlining all these huge festivals, things like that. I mean, it seems like a rather easy decision to me. But of course, outside of all of this, there is never a shortage of Slipknot news, always stuff going on in that camp. The band has a ton of dates announced for this year going into the summer. There's rumors of a potential North American tour coming this summer. That is purely just rumors, but that would be great to see. Their 25th anniversary tour last year was rather short. It only hit a few select markets, not a full-scale tour by any means. But outside of that, we, of course, are still waiting on Look Outside Your Window, which is, of course, the unreleased album that was recorded alongside All Hope Is Gone. Supposedly, everything is finished with that album now, and it's in management hands. But, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We've been waiting for that record forever. If you're unfamiliar with what Look Outside Your Window is, I did a video explaining pretty much everything there is to know about it, as well as a more recent video about the most recent Look Outside Your Window update. I will put links to both of those down below, but for now, that's all I got for you. Thanks so much for hanging out. Feel free to drop a like and subscribe below if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time.